Well, hi, my name is Andy Tidy and welcome back to another episode of Canal Hunter. This, as you may have gathered, is another one of my boat DIY videos, and I'm going to feature on the window frames. Generally, the inside of the boat is in lovely condition. The downside is the window frames where the condensation gathers. It's the same on virtually all boats. If you look at the close-up in here, you can see how the condensation has built up along here and caused the oak framing to tarnish and go off a bit. You can see it floating, going all the way around the sides, and the nice little decorative corner pieces, well, they're all coming loose. So this needs a little bit of attention. And before you say, well, that's just one window, I'll just show you another couple. The window frames are all, to a greater or lesser extent, suffering from the damages of damp over 20 years of service. Now, there's nothing structurally wrong with these window frames, it's just they look a little bit unsightly and tired, so I'd like to try and freshen them up. Well, first of all, I plan to sand them down and get rid of the current finish on them. Then, to try and lift out those stubborn water stains, I'm going to apply some oxalic acid. That's effectively bleach that will bring back the colour and take out the black bits. And then finally, of course, I'll recoat them with some varnish. Whilst I think the sanding and oxalic acid will improve things massively in the main cabin, I don't think it's going to cut it when it comes to the Houdini Hatch. That is just so deeply stained. But luckily, if you remember, I saved some of the salvaged tongue and groove panels when I did the back engine room, and I plan to overclad with those and then basically hide it all up. And I guess if that's good for another 10-15 years, that'll do. Anyhow, I thought you might like to see this project as it progresses, and we'll see just how good the various options are at trying to spruce up these slightly tired corners of Briar Rose. So what we're trying to do here is to clean up the window reveals, and by that I'm talking about the section that comes through under here. It's the bit that accumulates all of the moisture and the condensation over the years. That gradually eats into the varnish and the whole thing becomes messy. In case you were thinking it was just an odd one off, this is the one away from the sink where you'd think it would be drier, and as you can see it's all pretty well stained and actually going black in these corners. These little side bits have also just fallen out. They need retreating as well. So my first task is to take the multi-tool with its sanding attachment to these bad pieces and try to get them cleaned up. I think then I'm going to need to stain them with a little bit of that antique pine to get the gold colour back again, and then finally we'll revarnish them. So let's get to it with the multi-tool for a little while. Well, this could take a while, so if you'll leave that to me, I'll bring you back when I've finished. The multi-tool is pretty good at taking off the failed finish. There's been the old varnish flying off everywhere, but if you look in here deep into the cracks and the crannies, the black staining still remains. Possibly if I just wet it a bit, you can see that the black is still there. It just looks a bit better because there's a bit of dust on top of it. What comes next is the oxalic acid. Oxalic acid is something that actually eats right into the stain. It basically bleaches the wood and it bleaches out all of those black marks, and hopefully it brings in some of the old colour. Oxalic acid is nasty stuff, and you can't get full strength stuff on the internet. Well, not unless you declare that you're a professional. Frankly though, they reckon that the dilute version works pretty well. You just need to leave it a little bit longer. So that is what I've bought. It's not a very big bottle, but I don't actually need an awful lot. So this is very much an experiment in the use of oxalic acid to try and take out water stains in wood. Let's see how we get on. that's how it's looking with the oxalic acid having done its stuff. Most of those light water stains have gone, some of the black heavy ones have remained. I think I'll just have to live with that and think it's an awful lot of improvement over what it used to be. The problem with oxalic acid is the stuff remains active even when it's dried, it only has to get wet again. What you need is a bit of baking soda or bicarbonate of soda, and I've got a little pot of it mixed up here. It's just the routine stuff you get at home, but it is very strong alkaline and it stands to offset the acid. So what we'll do is we'll just apply a little bit of the alkaline baking soda onto the window frame and just neutralise the whole thing. If the oxalic acid was really strong, you'd actually see a chemical reaction happening at the bubbling, but because this is relatively dilute, it's only 9% solution, it doesn't get that same fierce science experiment end result. This is where we've now got to a couple of stages further on. We've applied the oxalic acid to bleach it back. We've then applied baking soda to neutralise the oxalic acid. And now finally, because it came up quite bleached, I've given it a very light coat of antique pine to give us that golden colour back, which then tones in with the surrounds. It's still a little bit wet, but when that dries out, it'll be ready for another coat of varnish and a much freshened up look. We do have some of those decorative corners missing, but I took them home and I cleaned them up on the sanding wheel and then gave them another coat of stain. So again, this is how they're starting to tone in. And these are the window reveals now they've had their first coat of varnish applied. I've used an oil-based varnish. It seems to hold up better in wet conditions than the water-based ones. I've also given those little decorative corners a coat of varnish, and then once they're all dry and my next visit to the boat, they'll come back and we'll add them back into here to make it all look nice and neat. Well, the window recess project is now reaching a conclusion. We've got these all stripped back. They're now covered with a couple of coats of varnish. They're looking golden and they're looking rather lovely. We've also refinished the detailing bits in all the corners too, so that's looking quite pretty. Well, this window refurbishment project has been going on for several weeks, and whilst I've now reached a stage where I'm happy with the end result, I now move on to the last and possibly most complicated repair. I am referring, of course, to the renovation of the Houdini Hatch. Effectively, this is the skylight that goes above the main bed. It provides light and it provides ventilation, but it also, sadly, provides a means of access for the moisture. And this piece up here isn't just black and stained, it's also wet to the touch. So I had been hoping that this was merely a problem of condensation, but I think it's a mixture of condensation and ingress of water. And it's not short standing. I mean, this has been going on for many years. If I pull back slightly and we look at the roof lining, I don't know if you can see that, the roof lining here has got quite a lot of staining from water that's come in from the Houdini Hatch. I suspect this corner here is the worst. The actual seal between the glass and the metalwork seems to be completely sound around here. There's no water coming in, although there's water pooling on top of it at the minute. The water seems to be coming in down here. I'll take you outside the boat and I'll show you what it's like out there. I apologise if the sound quality is really off on this section of the video. I'm outside. I've lost my radio mic with its fluffy top, so you may get a bit of wind noise. This is, however, the Houdini Hatch from outside, and you can see the water sits and pools in the glassware, but it's not coming in from there. It doesn't appear to be coming in from around the surround. My guess is that it's coming in from around here where the brass top, or I think it's a brass top, is screwed down onto the base. So my task is to try and improve the quality of what we have here. I think in the short term what I need to do is to replace the lining on the inside, but clearly that isn't going to be the end of the solution. I think the problem is that the water is getting in between the brass surround of the Houdini hatch and the bit that it's attached to the boat to. Basically, any time that you cut a hole in the superstructure of a boat, it ends up leaking. Whether it's mushroom vents, windows or Houdini hatches, they all seem to leak. I think long term the answer is to take the whole Houdini hatch out, clean it up and then resettle it into a new load of Sikaflex. That certainly is what's worked when I've done the portholes on our last boat. But I need to make the cosmetic changes inside. And at the risk of doing something which then needs redoing again, I'm going to cover it over with some lining which I took out from the old engine room. This is going to be a good match for what's in the boat, and then hope that the good weather comes in time for me to do it before it starts to deteriorate. Well, this is the quick and simple solution to the very heavily discoloured Houdini hatch. I've simply used some of the old tongue and groove panelling, cut to size and popped it into place. To tell you the truth, I haven't even fixed it into place. Well, when I left this project, my anticipation was that I was going to wait for a better day and simply come back to it then. Well, it turns out that today is a day between storms, and for once the temperature is pushing about 9 degrees and it's relatively dry, so I'm going to have a go at taking out the Houdini hatch. I've removed all the screws I can, one or two that were stuck in, they've ended up being drilled out. So I'll have a go at getting this up and see where we go from there. There we have it, one Houdini hatch removed, and you can see it's soaking wet, rusty around the edges. This was never going to get sealed up from the outside. Sometimes the drastic solution is the only one, but I did come armed with a set of gaffer tape and some polythene, so if this fix doesn't work, I've got a way of getting out of the problem and sealing the boat up, if not very securely. Well, I've removed all the old sealant around from the edge. I've sanded back all around the brass top to the Houdini hatch, and I've done the same all the way around the hatch opening. As you can see, this is a welded on steel rail and there is some corrosion in here. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a shortcut on this one, which is not the way it should really be done. Really, I should put fur tan on it and paint it and get the whole thing primed up and glossed, and then apply the Sikaflex to get the thing on. My problem is my window of opportunity to get this thing sealed up before the forthcoming bad weather is about 4 hours. So I'm not going to go and put the fur tan on, which is going to take 24 to 48 hours to cure, and then paint it, because by the time I've done that we'll have had the next storm and the next lot of rain. So I am going to take the shortcut and go for the Sikaflex straight onto the bare metal. This may mean that I have to take this out and redo it again, but I know it only takes me about an hour to take off. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you see me looking at a dripping Houdini hatch in 12 months' time, you can laugh at me, because I shouldn't be taking the shortcut, but I am. So we have a good thick layer of Sikaflex all the way around the aperture, and then we have 2 tram lines running all the way around the Houdini hatch. So between the 2 of them, I think we should achieve a pretty good seal. Now it's that moment of truth when you get one chance to get this right, so I'll get it round the right way and then lower it into position. Hopefully it will seal up like a treat, and it's the last I'll see of this for several years. So we have a grub screw on each corner of this side, which I know are okay. On the other side, both grub screws were completely jammed into the holes. So we know we've got a good fix on this side, not on the other side. Well, that's the Houdini Hatch pretty well bedded in. As I say, it's got those thick layers of Sikaflex running all the way around underneath. It's oozed out, and I've found in the past, if you just screw it down gently until it's settled in and just oozing out a little bit, then leave it and then come back when it's all cured and then just give it a little bit more of a tighten down, the seal is much better. My only issue are the two fixings on the corner, which were threaded grub screws. These were the two that were completely corroded in, that one and that one, plus one of the regular screws around at the side. And I was obliged just to drill those all the way out. These two go through, and the only way I can make an attachment is to get some non-ferrous nuts and bolts and to put them in. I've got those at home, I don't have them with me, but nonetheless it's all holding in. As you can see, there's a good seal all the way around, and the great thing about Sikaflex is the way that it can expand and contract. I'm afraid one or two of the brass screws also failed as I was putting them in, but luckily I always come armed with my odds and sods screw box, and that contained enough stainless steel screws to get me out of bother. Well, that brings the Houdini Hatch to a very satisfactory conclusion. All I need to do is to put a bit of Furtan around the outside where it's rusty, and then give it a coat with some black paint, probably some black hammerite, and that will be the job done for several years, hopefully. Anyhow, we'll put the linings back inside, job's done, and that's the end of another Canal Hunter video based on boat DIY. Hope you enjoyed this little insight, and I will see you very soon. Cheerio.